This is an AC250 change machine from American Changer. I got it off eBay for about 400 bucks from an arcade operator at a pizza place. The paint is peeling off all over it from years of abuse, but it still works really well. You can see this machine was set up for a game room, advertising token prices: 4 tokens for $1, 20 for 5, 40 for 10, 80 for 20. They're not cutting much of a deal there. I certainly don't need to make change or even take change in a home game room. All of my machines could easily be configured for free play, but I intentionally configure them to take quarters. In fact, getting the coin door working is one of the first things I do when I get a new machine, just so it can take quarters. I've rationalized that choice a few different ways, but the truth is, it's nostalgia. I miss the arcade experience, and dropping quarters in a machine brings back those memories. It just makes the whole thing feel more authentic. And having a change machine definitely adds to that. I wanted a way to dispense quarters, and I wanted the nostalgia of a change machine, but I didn't really need a bill changer. That would kind of just be an extra step. I'd have to keep bills around. I'd trade that off for keeping quarters laying around. So I looked for a machine that didn't have a bill acceptor on the front, and instead was used at a point of sale where they had a keypad behind the counter. So instead of inserting a bill to make change, you would just tell the attendant how much you wanted, pay the attendant, and then they would dial up how many quarters you wanted, hit the payout button, and dispense the quarters to you. That way, if I want some quarters, I can just go to the keypad, say how many I want, and I don't have to mess around with bills. I've got the keypad attached to the side of the machine with sticky tape, just to get it out of the way. But normally it would have a three or so feet worth of cord, where this could be behind the counter and this could be customer facing. There are some other options for some lower priced changers, like the Coffee Inn's CM222 or the Row BC100. Really, when I think about a changer, I think about the Row BC100 or the much larger 3500. 3500 is way too big for me to put in my game room. The BC100 would have been nice, but it has a bill validator, and I would have had to figure out how to get it to dispense quarters without inserting a bill. Otherwise, instead of having quarters laying around, I would just have bills laying around. Now, the Coffee Inn's CM222 I could find for cheaper, but it doesn't dispense quarters with a hopper. It dispenses them from tubes, and it dispenses all of them at once. So you'd insert $1, and all the quarters would hit the coin cup at the same time. As opposed to hopper-fed changers like the Row or American Changers, which dispense 1 quarter at a time, so you get the almost like the slot machine payout. That was the noise I was looking for. That's what kind of fed my nostalgia. So there are other options, but I was pretty picky on what I wanted. A hopper-fed changer, and ideally one where I didn't have to insert bills. That led me straight to the American Changer AC250. Met my needs exactly. Let's open the machine up and take a look inside. After popping the lock, you have to unscrew the lock to allow the front door to lower. After you open the front door, you can open the top, which gives you access to the hopper. That's how you would load quarters in. Just dump them in the top here. So inside you'll find the hopper that holds and dispenses the quarters, the circuit board that operates the machine, manual, and back in the back there is a power supply. This top part comes out to get better access to the hopper and the circuit board. You just unscrew this thumb screw in the back and slide this out. The display inside shows how many coins have been dispensed over the lifetime of the machine. There are also 3 buttons below the display to scroll through some menus. The menus really, more or less, are providing the ability to adapt this logic board to different types of changes. So, changes with multiple hoppers, or changes with different types of hoppers, or changes that use different communication protocols between the control board and the hopper, or changes that use a bill validator instead of the keypad. So the logic board comes configured from the factory, and once it's configured, there's really not much reason to go through those menus. It's a little hard to see the numbers that are displayed on the screen right now, but it shows the count of coins that have been dispensed over the lifetime of the machine, and you can't reset that value. The only way to change it is to get a new logic board. So presumably that value that's being displayed is the actual count of the number of coins that has been dispensed by this machine, and it's sitting at 6,566, which is just a little over $1,600. These machines are pretty expensive. I want to say they're around $1,200 new. So not very lucrative in the case of this machine when it was used at CC's Pizza. The hopper holds about 1,600 coins max, so it gets pretty heavy when it's full. I want to slide the hopper out to show the control board and the back of the changer. But first, before I do that, I want to empty the hopper out to make it a little bit easier to manage. There's a dump feature listed in the manual where you push the up and down buttons on the control board simultaneously, and the hopper will start dumping all of the coins out that it has until you push the select button to stop it. I forget how many coins I've got in there. Hopefully they fit in this box. We'll see. Might end up dumping coins everywhere. So I'm going to press the up and down buttons simultaneously. And the machine is asking start dump, so maybe we hit select.
The LEDs on the hopper indicate the state of the power supply, the security features, and the optical sensor for the coin dispenser.
Sounds like it might be it, so I'll hit select to stop it, hopefully. Alright, after being dumped out, the display is flashing, presumably because it has no money left. And if you look at the front of the machine, you can see the out of service light is lit. Let's see if we can pull that hopper out now. Yeah, I checked the display and it says hopper low. I'm going to turn the machine off and pull the hopper out. With the hopper removed, you can get a better view of the control board and its connectors. Some of these lead to the power supply here. Some of them go to hopper connector in the back. There's also a connection to a lock barrel on the back of the machine. When I got the machine from eBay, that lock was locked, and I told the seller many times that he didn't give me the key for it, but he swore up and down that it wasn't necessary. Well, it was, because that key on the back enables and disables the point of sale pad where you enter the number of coins to dispense. So if you were walking away from the change machine and you needed to disable it so somebody didn't jump over the counter and dispense quarters, you could lock that barrel lock on the back to temporarily disable the keypad. Well, it was in the locked position, so the keypad wasn't working and I couldn't dispense any coins from it. So I actually had to kind of hotwire the machine, connecting these two connections together to bypass that lock. And once I did that, the machine worked great. So if you buy one of these AC250 machines from somebody, make sure you get the key to the front of the machine and also the key to the back of the machine. Otherwise, you'll have to disable that barrel lock in the back. The hopper is a Suzo Hap Evolution. Dispenses coins between 21 and 30 millimeters. You can see the connector down here where it connects to the changer. There's some electric grease on it. Looks kind of dirty. There's an optical sensor back in here where the coin passes through, and that's how it knows it's actually dispensed a coin. So there's a motor that runs that pushes the coins out, and then an optical sensor that detects if a coin has actually been fed through. You can get access to that sensor by sliding this panel out. I'm not going to pull it all the way out, disconnected, but that control board comes out by sliding this panel out here. To reinstall the hopper, you just fit it over its fitting on the bottom of the machine. There's some teeth that engage, and then you just slide it back onto its connector. I'm going to reinstall the dump bin here. And now we can fill this guy back up with quarters. Let's take a look at the manual. This manual is Rev 6 from April of 2005. That's different than the manuals I've been able to find on American Changer's site online. And this manual matches my machine. The manual that I found on American Changer's site does not match my machine. At least it doesn't match the control board. They talk about unpacking the machine from shipping and testing it, and basic usage of the keypad and the lock on the back of the machine that disables the changer's ability to actually dispense change. There's a counter, a coin counter that you can access on the keypad by holding 3 different keys simultaneously. This counter could be different than what the machine actually shows inside on the logic board, because this counter is resettable. So you could reset this monthly or whatever to have a record of how many
coins were dispensed during a certain period, whereas the counter on the inside is for the lifetime of the machine. It talks about the ability to dispense different sizes of coins, how to fill the hopper. The logic board has a bunch of different configuration options that are listed here, but really that's just to adapt the generic logic board. I think that it's used in multiple different change machines for American Changer. Adapt that to different types of changers that have different configurations of hoppers and bill validators. The logic board, when you buy one of these, should be pre-configured for the type of machine that it's in, so I haven't had to change any of these settings. There's the procedure for dumping the hopper, which is handy if you want to empty out all of the coins from the hopper to remove the hopper from the machine. There's the logic board and the 3 buttons that you use to access the menus. The display on the logic board can display different hopper faults, and those are listed here. There's also a couple of LEDs that show up on the logic board, and the purpose of those is listed here. The remainder of the manual is about the mechanics of the hopper. I really haven't gotten into that yet. It's been working fine. I haven't had to dig into it. But there are a lot of moving parts in there, and I imagine eventually it's going to have to be serviced. Then there's some troubleshooting information at the end. And last page is a parts list for the cabinet and for the hopper.
Every time I open this up, I get a whiff of stale pizza from inside of it, from its previous life. And, you know, that's what I like the most about it, I think, is the nostalgia that comes from it. As a kid, I got countless quarters from change machines and arcades in pizza places like Showbiz or Chuck E. Cheese later. And just hearing that change machine sound when I'm playing pinball or other folks come over and use my machines, that sound just evokes so much nostalgia. So that's what I like best about having a change machine, I think, is just the nostalgia factor. It's a great addition to my game room.
I bought the machine on eBay from a CC's Pizza owner. When I first opened the machine up, I was happy to find these inside. Pretty cool.